Good morning this morning. My name is Rochelle Hunter Mosley, and this is Shit Ain't the Same. I know you guys are here for the first time. Welcome. And if you are here all the time, I appreciate your support. Make sure you subscribe. Just stop for a second and subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button and also share. You know, I always have very interesting shows because I'm always speaking from a point of view that things that I'm going through personally in my life. And not only do I have clients, you know, I've been a hairstylist for over 30 years. I have aging clients. I also have aging family members, right? And it has been very difficult to navigate, and especially it's difficult to navigate on your own. So I had to call my friend Suraya here to talk about how she has supported me and see if she could be your accountability partner, or to just explain to you how to find an accountability partner, someone that knows what they're talking about, and someone to help you understand what's happening to your aging loved ones. So today I asked her, I said, we need a healthy drink, like something healthy, not only for our aging family members, but also for ourselves.
That's right.
So Suraya, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
And we've been talking about this forever, but I'm gonna finally get a chance to taste from your drinks.
Well, you have tasted the drink because last year you did a subscription with me. You forgot?
Right, I did.
So you were at a point last year where you were doing like 21 drinks a week.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Three drinks a day of healthy living, live electric foods, and you was doing an excellent job.
I was doing a good job.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Okay.
So today we're going to
share with the people.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Because a lot of us think that eating healthy is, first of all, very expensive.
Right.
Right. And then we feel like it's hard for us to navigate that at home alone.
Right.
So we want to get them something simple to do for them and their aging family member.
I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people always say like it's too expensive to buy fruits and vegetables, and it can be expensive given the fact that sometimes people overbuy. So now if you going out, like when you're utilizing living foods, they go bad faster. So this is something that I normally would go out grocery shopping multiple times a week. I don't buy for the week on Sunday and buy everything until, Friday or Saturday or whatever. Like I'll, shop on Sunday for Tuesday, and then Tuesday go back out and do it for Thursday. Right, because this
that makes sense.
Will go bad, and I want it to be as fresh as possible. So it could get expensive if you're overbuying and then you're throwing things out, and then now it just seems like it's just too much excess food. So what I would suggest is find a local mart. Like there's a couple of local marts around me that have fruits and vegetables that are underpriced, meaning like they're less than what you would find at Whole Foods. And it's the same brands, the same name brands, same everything, but the price is like a fraction of the cost.
Oh, wow.
Why? Because local farmers and a lot of the local farm stores, they buy as a collective. A lot of them buy cooperatively. So they'll, pick another 5 fruit stand friends and say, you know what, let's go buy this from wholesale together, and they get the discount.
Oh.
And then I got another one for you, is that you can actually go buy this fruits and vegetables wholesale yourself. All right. If you're in the New York area and you can have access to places like the Bronx, I know all of you have driven by the Hunts Point Market a million times.
Yes, I've been there. I went there for seafood.
Exactly. And they got meats and they got poultry, but they also have fruits and vegetables.
Oh, wow.
And if you have a business, and I believe even if you don't have a business, that they still allow you access. It costs about $7. You pay the $7 when you come in. I think it's on Edge River Road in the Bronx. And you pay the $7. Particularly, I found a place called Navel and Navel. And I love all their fruit options, especially because they have a good organic option there. And I like to first try to buy everything organic.
I like that idea.
I'm talking about grapes. You can get the whole crate of grapes, about maybe 13 different bags for $22.
So you're saying maybe a group of friends could get together and buy this fresh produce and then split it up with the family.
Because $22 for 13 bags of grapes, like a full bag of grapes that are about this amount of pounds in the supermarket would cost you $13 for one bag. But now you're going to get 13 bags for $22 because you're buying it at wholesale.
Oh, that's excellent.
And if you're a person that juices, you might need this to juice for yourself, for your business, for your family. You know, back when I was doing it, I was juicing, you know, for my friends. I had a subscription business going on, which I still do, but people were ordering and they were a part of the community and I was delivering it to them. So it made sense that I needed to buy this stuff in bulk. And if I bought this stuff from Whole Foods, I would have never made it.
Exactly.
I
I
would have never
love
made
that.
it.
I love that
So you
idea.
can get oranges, lemons, cucumbers, you know, watermelon, mostly everything that you could find in Whole Foods, you could buy there.
Cool. I'll definitely put
Yep.
the information in the show notes.
Yeah, Hunts Point.
Okay.
And they have hundreds of stores there. So you choose the one that you feel like best suits your needs. You walk around, you go to the front, you might go to their admin office, introduce yourself. If you have a business, you give them your business EIN number, and then you don't have to pay taxes on this either.
Oh,
so
I love that.
That part right there is a big help. Saving money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I washed this stuff already.
Right.
So do we need to dry it?
Yeah.
Or?
So today, what I'm thinking is that we're gonna do pineapple, and you say you don't know how to cut a pineapple.
I don't.
Right?
Show
so
me.
This is kind of like, you know.
I think a lot of people don't know how to cut a pineapple.
Is that right?
I think so.
Well, this is real simple.
Okay.
Everybody could do it the way they see fit, because there's no one way to skin a cat.
Right.
This is the way I do it. So make sure you do what's comfortable for you, because that's what this is all about. All of this healthy living, treating your body, mind, and spirit with nourishment and love. This is about self-mastery.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And how can you master yourself if you're not putting things in your body that is going to ignite your mind, body, and spirit into a healthy living?
Where it talk about igniting mind, body, and spirit, you know, after being in the salon so many years and I'm watching my clients age, I'm watching my loved ones age as well. And the way you have helped me over the months to navigate what I'm going through with my loved one, you know, I just first of all, I want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, because we don't always get people that know what they're talking about and know how to really help you figure things out. So even when I was trying to figure out the Medicaid and Medicare, like what the heck is the difference? A, B, C, and D, I don't know what, you know, as a regular person.
Right.
And I feel like they expect these aging loved ones to do this work on their own.
Right.
And
they do.
It's no way.
And they just throw you out there.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, people find out about insurance and things that they need to take care of themselves when they are fighting a crisis. And at that point, for me, I always feel like it's better to get ahead of things if you can. You know, obviously, you don't stress yourself about overthinking about the things that you want to prevent. But preventative is always better than the cleanup job. I learned that the hard way myself. You know, and I had a good friend that used to say that to me all the time, too. So I have adopted that way of living. So, but most people wait until something tragic happens and trauma strikes, and then
I know even when I reached out to you, trauma had already struck. Right. I was already in the thick of it.
Right.
So just trying to navigate through that was just
right.
It was a lot.
It's confusing, and there's a lot of things that you have to know, and typically people take advantage of you out there when you don't know the information, because everybody's already just not intentionally looking to take advantage of you all the time, but they operate in a system, and you're either going to fit in their system or you're not.
Right.
And if you don't have your own system for yourself, or you're not operating from a foundation that you have already laid out for yourself, then the only other option is to fit into another person's system.
Right. And just like I always say, if you don't have a plan for your life, someone else does.
That's right. That's right. And so, you know, when you called me and your loved one was in the hospital, you know, at the time, and you correct me if I'm wrong, they were telling you that for the services that you needed, which was to get your loved one eligible for nursing home status, that they wanted to charge you $8,000 or something like that just to do the paperwork.
Yeah.
Right? And you could speak about that a little more, about what they told you that was due.
They were really I felt like they were just trying to get into her pockets.
Right.
And like I said, like she's elderly, you know, and the money that she has saved, paying them $8,000 wasn't really an option for us. we didn't have it. We didn't have it because we didn't know what other expenses were going to come, you know, for her care.
Right.
You know, so I got afraid of the $8,000. $8,000 looked like almost half of her money.
Right.
You know, and she's been
Right.
working all her life, and she's been saving, and she's been, you know, and just to think that, you know, that money that we have saved and we feel like we've saved enough, it's not enough.
It's not enough, especially when your health is at stake. And that, you know what's so funny, Ro, is that people work their lifetime and they do save up and then end up using because they don't take care of their health and they go to work every single day and just work on that system. When it's time for them to take care of their health or they retire, they end up getting sick. And this is not, I'm not just saying this like taking a shot in the dark. Like this is real, this information could be found. Like most people that retire, they end up getting sick and having to use the money that they saved to basically pay for the rest of their living in the hospital. So in this particular case, what we needed to do was to apply your loved one for Medicaid. Because she needed Medicaid to stay in the nursing home, because when you have Medicare, you get a certain amount of days that will cover your stay, which is limited. You know, every state is different, but you know, some places are 120 days. So after 120 days, now if you have a serious incident that happened to you and you need more than 120 days, what are you supposed to do? These fees are upward of $8,000 a month. And typically when you don't have that type of insurance that will cover this, what they do is they end up finding out what do you make, what is your earnings, and then they take your earnings, whether it's your pension or your Social Security, and they use that to offset the cost to take care of you because they're taking care of you in the hospital.
And you know, after being hands-on with it, I understood that price. Because you can't put a price on how much it's going to take for you to take care of your loved one. Right. It's like whatever it takes. But when your money start dwindling down, and you just get really afraid. I know for me, I just got really scared. Like how are we going to be able to maintain this? Like what is this? And what can I do to prevent my kids from having to go through this? That's how scared I got. Like, what am I going to do if I'm not able to work? And Chance and Charlie have been working with my hands for the past 30 years.
But the thing is about not getting scared, because that's really not useful. I know it's an emotion that you're going to experience because you coming into something that's different for all of us. But this is just information. So the objective or the goal for all of us would be to take the information and to apply it to something useful for the future for yourself. That would be the best instance for us if we can manage that. So in this instance with your loved one, we was able to acquire Medicaid, and we had to get Medicaid through a different way because her income was over the income federal guideline. And many people think that if your income is over the income federal guideline that you won't be able to acquire Medicaid, but that's not true. That's not true. So you can do what is called a pooled income trust. And in the past, the pooled income trust had some parts of it that didn't sit well with clients. But since then, and new technology and everything, they have new ways for you to be eligible for Medicaid with your income being over the guideline without you having to where you can still have total control over your own finances. Okay, so I mean, we could go into detail about that or not. You tell me what you want me, as far as you want me to go, because you know I could talk about this stuff all day.
You know, what I've been dealing with aging clients and family members is dementia. And when you're dealing with that dementia, you're trying to navigate through that. You know, it's a sad thing to watch. It's a very sad thing to watch. You know, where their long-term memory is just not there anymore. They don't remember that they used to love you. They don't remember, you know, what they really meant to you and what you really meant to them. And that we have to not take it personal. Because I have seen family members take it personal. Oh, she don't even remember me. Oh, she called me a bitch, or she called me a whore. She called me this. Yeah, but they're not in their right mind. They're not in their right mind. They're not. And we can't take that stuff personal. So if you are dealing with a family member that has dementia and you have experienced any of this, don't take it personal. you know, have the patience. Like, remember who she was to you.
Well, I think the first step is identifying that the family member has dementia, because a lot of times this is like a subtle thing that happens, just basically from what I've seen, because I've had loved ones who I had to help navigate the space of Alzheimer's dementia as well, and we're seeing a huge surge of this illness in our communities. And what happened is, in the beginning, it's so subtle, it's just like memory loss. You don't really maybe take it as serious because it doesn't seem like it's something is that you need to give that much attention to. And over the course of time, as a natural progression for the illness, it begins to manifest itself in a different way over the course of time. And so you see, first it's just forgetfulness, and then it's aggression, and then it's it goes so far.
Yeah.
It goes so far. I wouldn't even know what to say some of the symptoms are, but family members don't automatically know that this is what their family is going through, and there's no real education on it. So the immediate thing to do is the hospital. Most people just go to the hospital, and then when you get to the hospital, Western medicine, their practices is mostly medication. And a medication is not necessarily to help you get better. It is really more for you to manage the symptoms. So, I mean, this is just to bring it back to what we're doing here today, is that, I can't tell the future because it hasn't happened yet. And I'm not God, right? But there are things that we can do for ourselves to create the environment for healing within our body that can help prolong our lives in a way where we can still have vitality, if that makes sense. So
absolutely.
We're electric beings, and I think people fail to realize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so we mull about every day doing all these things, forgetting to tap in with self. And that's what this life is about, if you believe that, self-mastery. So how can you forget to tap in with yourself, and how do you know yourself if you don't master
yourself?
And as an electric being, we want to eat foods that are electric, because that's what feeds and nourishes your cells and your organs in your body, is foods that offer you that are electric. Why are they electric? Because they're living. Living foods are electric.
So she's saying we can't eat fried chicken, y'all.
I'm not saying never. I'm just saying, like, pick and choose your battles wisely. So this is a strainer. And let's just get to a little bit of juicing, because I see that you
no, I'm just moving it out the way.
Ready to roll. This right here is one of my babies, right? So this is the Omega, and this is a juicer, so it extracts. And right now we got this set up. Let's see. Okay, it's already ready to roll. This is so easy to use, y'all. What I want you to do is I want you to insert it in in the nose up here.
Okay.
What it's going to do is anything that's skin-like, it's going to peel that off. And then what's the juice aspects of it will go into one of these buckets over here.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn it on.
See, I always...
And I use this to push this down the nose.
I'd be so afraid of this, because I'd be afraid of the mess.
Right, but this is it. I mean, what are you afraid of? Be afraid of sitting in the hospital. Not this, not the mess. You could always clean it. We in the kitchen, So look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. So sometimes I'm glad this is happening, because sometimes this does, when you work with certain foods, it can get a little jammed up. This particular one has a reverse button on it, which is over here. So you have to navigate the space a little differently. Or what you would do is, because today we're using pineapples and celeries, let's get some chopped celeries and get something a little harder to go down the chute, because then it'll help to push whatever the soft stuff is. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. There's really no wrong way, just so you know.
Okay. Because juicing ain't my thing, but maybe it can be my thing.
Who said it wasn't your thing?
I said it.
See what I'm saying? Well, you know that what you tell yourself is what you're gonna manifest. So if you say it's not your thing, then it's not your thing. Now you see how we did that? We use this food that's harder to push through the mushiness, this because the let me say this properly.
Right.
This pineapple, when it juices, is softer. So sometimes it tends to get caught up in the machine. But if you are juicing with two different textures and that texture is harder, you can use that to come behind this to help clear the shoot out so that you can have an easier flow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So I did want to talk to you about, one of my loved ones. She's in the nursing home, and they wanted me to get rid of her Medicaid so that she could stay in the nursing home longer. And I said, that don't sound right, but let me talk to my girl about that and see what she thinks. Because I know it took us a long time to get this stuff set up for her.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you did that. You know why? Because most people don't even check in. So if you have a broker or you have somebody who you're working with already who has helped you along the way, stick with that person if that person has done right by you and helped you to progress in whatever you needed to progress in. Because a lot of times, everybody operates differently. We got to cut that off of there. I don't want that on the camera. We got to, a lot of times, some of these institutions, they're basically telling you what works for them, not necessarily for the overall health of the person of the client.
Right.
So for example, they may be telling you drop the Medicaid because maybe they get paid more money when it's not. I don't know what the reasons are, because for me, that doesn't make any sense. Because Medicaid is what pays for the nursing home for long term.
Right. Exactly.
For a longer period of time. So the fact that they're telling you to drop the Medicaid, we would have to research that and actually talk to the person just to make sure that that's what they meant. Because sometimes people could get confused as well. Meaning like the family. This is a lot we're talking about. Medicaid, Medicare, nursing home, NHTD program, this and that. For you in particular, and you gave me permission to talk about this, but initially we got you set up with what's called managed long-term care. And I'm going to refer just for namesake to managed long-term care as MLTC. So the managed long-term care is going to allow you to have home care at home. And I'm talking about just in the state of New York right now, because remember, everywhere is different. But for the managed long-term care, that was what we utilized to get her home care. All right. And then when she went in the nursing home, that Medicaid she originally had was community Medicare, and we had to convert that over to nursing home Medicaid. I'm sorry, I said Medicare. I meant to say Medicaid. AID.
Right.
So we converted that because that's what pays for the nursing home. Does that make sense? Or
it makes sense.
Okay.
It makes sense. And also, what I didn't want to forget to say is that my family member also had health insurance from her job, but it was not enough. It wasn't enough. So being able to navigate that, do you think I would have been thinking in my right mind on my own to get rid of her job health insurance to put her on Medicaid? I wouldn't have been able to do that on my own.
Right. Well, you didn't get rid of her job insurance. What she did was opt into her Medicare, because Medicare is a couple ways you can acquire Medicare.
Because of her age?
In her case, it was her age. She aged in, 65 and older. But there are people who can get Medicaid with Medicare without being 65. If you have Social Security disability for 2 years or more, you can also qualify for Medicare as well.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother story. And you could be any age at that point, like 20 years old, and because people have serious ailments, diabetes, and traumatic brain injuries, neurological disorders. Like, these things qualify you sometime at an earlier age to get the Medicare.
Right.
And so in your loved one's situation, she aged in, so she already had Medicare, but she was also paying for the jobs insurance too that she hadn't worked in 30 years. She didn't work that job in 30 years.
Yeah.
But the same thing that the jobs insurance was giving her was the same stuff that Medicare A and B was giving her.
Right.
So we was able to identify that because you brought in a broker and we basically looked over everything. So you see, some of this stuff you're not going to know on your own. This is a lot of stuff that you got to like cross your T's and dot your I's with. And it's impossible to discover this stuff at the time of an injury of a family member.
Right.
Right. So you might have to bring somebody in from the outside, even if that means hiring them or sourcing someone who's going to do this at no cost to you.
Right.
I didn't say free. I said at no cost to you, which is a difference.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So just to be clear. But I wanna stop for a second because I think we got something good going on over here.
It looks good.
So as you can see, that on this side of the juicer, we were able to take the skin and the parts of the skin that wasn't going to work for the juice to keep to make the juice taste better and flow better and the texture of it, right? And I don't really want to pull this away from here, but I have to.
You to hold the glasses.
Yeah. So this is the juice. We still gotta stir it, but we should probably do this over there.
Okay.
Now, some people, this is a strainer. Sometimes when you have that foam on the top, that's oxidation.
With the smaller one.
Right. We could use the smaller one. This doesn't look like it has. This doesn't look like it has any pulp in it. So I'll hold this over that. Ooh, let's move this into the sink a little more. I don't know about you, but I like to drink my fresh juices warm. Some people like it cold. We might want to stir that up a little bit.
Okay.
Stir it up.
You can stir it up.
Let's see, do we have something over there?
I can use my knife.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do it like that this time. I don't really want to turn my back to the camera, but okay. My hand is nice. Steady.
Let me hold it.
Ooh, there we go.
Okay.
That's good. We lost a little bit, but we'll be fine. Okay. Okay, let's see. Put this over here. Let's get rid of those. Dang, I got a little thing on my.
It's okay. We're cooking in the kitchen.
You know what I'm saying? What else could we do? And
cooking in the kitchen.
And we look fantastic, might I add.
We do.
Okay.
We do.
Let's do a little toast. Toast to health and wellness. Self-mastery.
And it's real good.
I would have to agree.
It's very good.
I would have to agree. Now, usually what I'll do to take this out with me on the road, because a lot of times I prep my own food, because if you go out and buy everything everywhere every day, you're going to be broke. I don't really like that B word, but I just said it just because some of y'all identify with it. I don't really identify with that. But what I do is I buy these PBA-free bottle containers from Uline, and then I transfer the juice over into the PBA-free bottles.
Oh.
And we want to do PBA-free because plastic is no good.
Okay, and what is PBA-free?
This is the type of bottle that you're going to be able to use to pour this in that doesn't contain all of the bacteria that plastic contains. I'm trying to look for the easiest way to explain this.
Right.
Because I don't want to complicate things. I want to keep things a little simple. Now, for some people that want to know how recipes and things like that, when you first start juicing off, what I was taught and what I would suggest is just to try to keep the families with each other. So if you're going to juice watermelon, juice the stuff that's in that same family. So that would be cantaloupe and melons and things like that. If you are going to do pineapples, which are more citrusy fruits, then you would pair that with oranges. and other fruits that are citrusy.
Like lemon and...
Right. And if you're going to do greens, well, I wouldn't put, because lemons have that taste to it that's bitter, I wouldn't, that's not a good combination, but you learn that over time or whatever. But for me, I would do all the citrus stuff together. And then tropical fruits like papayas and things like that fit into that tropical family, I would juice that stuff together. Papayas, mangoes, things like that. That's the easiest way when you're first starting off to have your own recipes without having to go out and run out and get, you know, mints and this and that and just, you know, making the job a lot harder. Like, let's just keep it simple. The objective is just to get in the kitchen and do the best that you can with what you have before you start going nut burger, looking for 1,000 different recipes. Stick to the script.
I always say, just get started.
Just get started.
Just get started. Even if it's just juicing one thing. If you want to just do pineapple, you'd have to do pineapple and celery and something else and something else. Just do pineapple. Let's just start slow.
Smart.
And especially if you're feeling like it's a little expensive, Suraya just gave you an excellent way to start. And I know you got neighbors that want to try this with you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go shopping together. We can go juicing together.
Well, the truth of the matter is, and I'm saying this because your podcast suggests this, and you say in your caption that there's been a paradigm shift, and you named this show that shit ain't the same. Like, let's unpack that for a second, because people are using that terminology without really fully understanding what the foundation of that is. So if you're a believer, what this means is that the universe right now is expanding, which means that as above, so below, so are we. And we're expanding our consciousness and the collective consciousness as well. And so what we see happening right now is that the emergency rooms are filled up to capacity. My own mother went to the emergency room because she had serious ailments, and she went there just to make sure she was okay. And she couldn't even get a bed because everybody was there for the same thing. And you know what that was?
What?
Anxiety. A lot of people are facing these types of things because they're going through spiritual awakenings, and they may not even know it or believe in it. But you don't have to believe in it for it to be true.
Exactly.
And for you to find out. And so what we're realizing is that a lot of people are a part of this shift, and they're experiencing this paradigm shift in different ways. And it can be with their awareness, it could be with their health, it could be the anxiety. And so using some of these tools are a good way to pull yourself back in, because the objective is to be back in your body. And what does that mean? Your body is just a vessel. Like, this matter is just the flesh.
Just the flesh.
You are your breath, and that is what's connected to the all. Like, let's get into that, because that's what this is about. That's what we're feeding. So this whole paradigm shift is about you expanding and you moving into your natural self. So you might feel the shift because of the lifestyle you live in. You might feel the shift even if you in this lifestyle, because we don't have a choice. Get curious. When these things start happening that makes you feel out of body, ask questions.
And that's what this whole podcast is about. Just like you said, it's like I was like, what is shit like the same? What is shit like the same? There's a paradigm. And if you don't roll with it, you're going to get rolled over.
Some people are going to get left behind.
They are.
Some people are. What we're doing is helping those who want to help themselves help navigate through this time in life. And the life is just about getting healthy. You know, hit the gym, work out, exercise, give your body movement. Get sun an hour, 2 hours out of the day. A lot of people are suffering with depression.
And it doesn't matter if it's cold outside. It doesn't matter. Just go out there and let the sun hit your forehead.
That's it. You said that too the other day.
Let your feet touch the ground.
You was like, oh, I don't care if it's cold. I'm going to go out on my terrace and put my robe on and drink my coffee and let that sun hit my face.
Yes. I mean, I can't even explain how much it helps my mental in my body.
Because the sun is regenerative. Like, it's rejuvenating you. And so that's why sometimes we dip out of here and we like, oh, I need some sun. That's because your body is
craving it.
To be rejuvenated. And so even in the wintertime here, you throw your coat on, like, we native New Yorkers for real. Like, Why are we complaining about the weather and the snow? Like, put your winter coat on and your boots and your
and let's
stuff,
go.
get out there and let's go. Get that sun, because that's the real religion to me, is nature.
So, you know, I am a trichologist as well. And through my research, I've researched that dementia is sugar on the brain, sugar diabetes on the brain. So it's levels to that.
Yep.
You know, and I would say go and get checked. Make sure you go into your doctor's appointments. Make sure that they are doing the blood work. Make sure they are calling you back, letting you know how your blood work is. Because some people get this blood work, they're like, oh, I got the blood work 3 months ago, but they heard nothing from the doctor.
Right.
Even if it's all good.
Right.
You want to hear it's all good.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So,
but you know what though, and this is just like, I'm glad you bringing up a lot of these topics, because people run to the doctor for everything. I was one of those people, but what I realized is, like, I'm my own doctor, and I'm not telling you to go out there and say that you can do what a trained professional who's licensed and certified can do. But what I am saying is that when you walk into the doctor office, and this is what my mentor, Goddess Salam, always taught me, the first thing that the doctor asks you is, what brings you here? So you have to know yourself first.
well, how long have you had this problem?
Because in the doctor's office, what they're doing is process of elimination. So if you come in and you say, well, this is what's happening and that's what's happening, they're going to ask you a series of questions that's going to help them eliminate what the possibilities could be, so that they could zone in on what could possibly be going on. And then they're going to use their technology to substantiate that, whether it's an MRI, whether it's a CAT scan or whatever. But ultimately, you got to know yourself.
Right.
Because the doctor could give you a diagnosis, but if you want to heal, you have to do the work to do the healing. And that is eating right, and that's getting sun, and that's walking, and that's breath work, and that's meditation. That is how you connect with yourself.
Right. Talk about doing the healing work. What is some of this stuff that you have here?
So I'm glad you said that, because we were talking about Alzheimer's dementia, and some really, really good brain food that helps to improve your memory. If you're talking about fruits, is all the berries. Like, first of all, if you juicing and you are trying to improve your memory, all the berries all the time. Like, in the morning times, I usually have like an all berry, maybe 4 different berries: strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, blackberry, and I throw it in there with some coconut water as the base, and just straight drink that. That is like, you are nourishing your brain health with that. So all the berries, if you're somebody who's suffering from memory and Alzheimer's dementia, of course, there's many layers to that. There's a lot more things you need to do, but that's something that you can do with the juicing to improve your cognitive, cognition. So also, the blueberries are high in antioxidants, which is really good, and especially in flavonoids. So, but there are some herbs that you could take that will get you some immediate results. So when I feel like my brain health is a little foggy, I do ashwagandha. So ashwagandha is really, really good for brain function. Chaga, I know that we heard this many, many years ago, ginkgo biloba. But that's a real thing. You got gotu, and you have powders like turkey tail powder, and you have lion's mane, which is a mushroom. And this stuff is these herbs are really, really good for brain health. Of course, I'm not a doctor.
Right.
And I'm not suggesting that any of this is going to cure you.
Right.
Yet what I am saying is, pick up what I'm putting down. This is the stuff that I use for my own life and my family's life to help to navigate them back into a healthier space. Okay, and so, I wrote a few things down. A lot of things are all interconnected. So sometimes it's just not about brain health. Like, if you manage to get yourself a holistic practitioner, then they will run the reports for you, or look at your CBC reports that you went out and did your own blood work with, and they will figure out how to streamline where the potential concerns may be. So it could be your adrenal glands, it could be your nervous system, it could be, not just your brain health. It could be a combination of those things. So there are some other roots that you can take and drink as teas during the day, which are valerian root, wild yam root. You have saw palmetto. Saw palmetto,
saw palmetto, men can use that to prolong the hair loss.
Really?
Saw palmetto,
Saw palmetto, and you would know as a trichologist, these are some of the things probably.
But you got to catch it early on. You can't just be all the way bald and be like, oh, let me take this.
Once you
start seeing it, It's one of those things that you may want to look into.
Yeah.
You can have it in a tea.
Yep.
You can have it in a pill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got juniper berry. That's really good. And so, you know, usually I'm drinking teas most of the day. So outside of juicing, I drink a lot of the herbal teas that are whatever I'm working on, whether it's cell regeneration, whether it is digestive. I do a lot of detoxing and intermittent fasting. That's a whole nother topic right there. But these are all the things like I detox based on the cycle of nature. So as we're coming into the spring equinox, you know, every season you come into, you should be looking towards doing a detox because it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning every time.
What else you have over there?
But what else I have? So some of this stuff you could get in tinctures. A tincture is the liquid form. And, you know, everybody always may not have time to sit and, you know, steep a pot.
Right.
But if you have the juice already, you can use the tincture, which is the liquid. And some of these are alcohol based. So, you know, you want to check in with your physician to see exactly what you're able to intake and what you aren't. And basically something like this, I would put this inside of my fresh juice.
Oh, wow.
Right. So, and they have these things like ashwagandha root. Then I think like general things that you should have, like if supplements, if you're missing some of these or you're deficient in some of these, definitely melanated folks that are low in vitamin D, especially around the winter time because we're not getting as much sun, a D3. Like this is like Bible to me, like D3 because you vitamin D deficient or get up and get out and get something and go walking in that sun every day for at least an hour or two, right? This is magnesium caps. Now,
the magnesium help with the hot flashes and help you sleep.
Yes, and I was getting ready to say that because some of us women are in menopause. And I ain't saying no names, but it's a whole lot of us. And it's starting early in their 30s.
It is.
So because of the whole menopause, there are supplements that you could take to help manage that. And some of my friends, they are living by magnesium.
They even have a magnesium oil. You can put. I rub it on my feet.
Yeah, and magnesium is great for digestive because I take magnesium sometime as well and I run straight to the bathroom. But you could also get that in your fruits too.
Right.
Because watermelon, 90% water and it's going to flush you. You going straight to the bathroom. Papaya, great for digestive system. You running straight to the bathroom. Sea moss, inflammation reduction, straight to the bathroom.
I need to get heavier on that.
You know what I'm saying?
And I see you have the zinc and the
right. So the zinc,
and the
zinc, and this is vitamin C. I mean, I do drink and eat a lot of oranges. Obviously, the first order of business is always to be able to eat your medicine. That's what I preach. That's what I know, and that's the truth for me. So you want to be able to eat it first, but if you can't, then you can juice it.
Right.
And if you can't, then you could take a supplement.
Right.
But always the first order of business would be to eat your fruits and vegetables. And why do I say the fruits, especially in the morning time? Because your body has what's called a circadian rhythm. Right? So we don't have to go against it. If we go with the natural order of our body's circadian rhythm, we can be healthier because there are time periods that your body is naturally in a particular state. So let's say in the morning time, in the nighttime, in the morning you break fast because in the night, anytime you're abstaining from food or putting things in your mouth, you're fasting.
Right.
So that's why words are powerful. That's why we call it breakfast because it's really break your fast. Because if you didn't eat at nighttime and say your last meal was at 8 o'clock, you know, in the morning time, the first thing I do is I'll grab some water, put a lemon in there because my body's natural circadian rhythm is in elimination stage. So I'm aiding it in the elimination process.
Right. So water and lemon in the morning.
That's what I do. And as soon as you wake up, what's the first thing that most people do?
Go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom. Whether that's to release whatever it is to release, because your body is in its natural state, is in elimination state.
Right.
And so that's what I'm doing. And that's why I eat fruits all the way up until noon. I don't really eat anything solid until afternoon because now my body is in the next state.
I mean,
So
I may adopt that
it's a
practice.
transition. If you used to eating bacon, egg, and cheese in the
Yeah.
morning, it's a big transition. But
Well,
what
I'm
you'll
not eating pork. I'm
right.
eating beef.
Well, what you'll notice is that you don't need to eat bacon, egg, and cheese. You're not eating to get full.
Right.
You're eating for nourishment for your
Mhm.
cells and
Right.
your organs and
Mhm.
the bloodstream and blood flow. And
Mhm.
that's what you're eating to feed that and nourish those
Right.
parts of you,
Mhm.
not to get full.
Right. I got you. I got you.
So
I got you.
now there used to be a company that I used to do their products and used to do their products called TLC. I don't know if they still do, but this blossomy wonders, especially for women who are menopausal and perimenopausal, because in here it has maca root, which is great for estrogen, and it has I had a big bag of this here. That gave me some more. It had maca root, it has black cohosh in it, and it had the ashwagandha root in it already.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now I still have a little bit left, so this is what I take. But when I run out of this, that's it.
Yeah, I'll make sure I put it in the show notes
That's
so
it.
people can
Yeah.
definitely reach out to you.
This company, and I have to give you this gem. This is Life Extension. My mother put me onto this. And Life Extension has their own wellness advisors. So if you don't have a holistic practitioner and you do have your blood work, you can actually speak to a doctor.
Oh, wow. That's great.
At no cost.
That's great.
It comes with you buying products. So they'll make recommendations based on the blood work that they review. And then they will recommend what products that they have. I like their products because they are made with the highest ingredients based on my research. And I trust their products because they're using like the best materials they're using plant-based in most of their materials, which is what I go for.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that we say that we are not doctors. We're just speaking from our own life experiences. We're just sharing the things that we do at home that's making a difference in our lives. Even the help that Suraya has been giving me with my loved ones and my clients has been astronomical. Like I can't even put a price on it.
Thank you.
I can't. So I want you guys to make sure that you guys look at the show notes. Make sure you take some of this information. Make sure that you let it all soak in because it's just a lot going on in this paradigm. And we just want you guys to be ready. Just want you to be ready.
Yeah. We want to be ready. That's why we doing all of this.
Doing all of this.
Yeah. The Life Extension, I wanted to offer an alternative to this because this you order, but if you want to support local businesses that look like you, there's this guy, Styles P, that has this store in Yonkers.
Okay.
I don't know why I can't think of the name of it. It's not coming to my mind right now. But he has a lot of these products. So I supported his business and I went over there and got some Irish sea moss.
Oh, great. Okay.
For the times that I'm not, taking
So
a lot.
we'll put that in the show notes as well.
Yeah. I can't think of the name of it, but I'm sure by the time we do the short notes,
Show
the
notes,
show notes will have it.
But this has been good, Suraya.
This is good.
I love it. I love it.
You.
I love that we gave them something, a healthy cocktail.
That's right. That's right.
A healthy cocktail.
That's right.
Not only just for your aging loved ones, but also for yourself.
Right.
Right. Like I said, make sure that you look at the show notes. It's going to have all the information in there on how to get connected with a lot of these products.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll also put Suraya's information in there. Maybe she could be your accountability partner. Like she has definitely helped me, and maybe she can help you the same way she helped me.
Yeah. Thank you, Ro. Yeah. One thing I wanted to add to this is about the NHTD program because for those who have loved ones who are stricken with the illness of Alzheimer's and dementia, there are state programs that will assist you with getting 24-hour care for your loved ones. And that's really important right now because we are seeing a surge of the Alzheimer's dementia in our community. The process is extensive.
It's grueling. I'm going through it now.
Yeah.
It's grueling.
But it's possible if you do what you need to do and you provide what you need to provide, like you, Rochelle. Everything I tell you you need, you have. You answer your phone. You do the interviews for eligibility. If you follow the process through and the guidance that, I could provide for you, you can get to the eligibility where you get approved and you can get up to 24 hours care for your loved ones who have not only Alzheimer's, dementia, but for anybody with neurological disorders like traumatic brain injuries, strokes, and things of that nature. It's hard to work a job and take care of a loved one when you're in the same household with them and they need a lot of care. So, you know, utilize and research some of these programs. And if you need help, I'm here.
100%. Thank you, Suraya.
Thank you
This
for
has been
having me.
fantastic. Fantastic. Make sure you guys subscribe and share and check out the show notes. Till next time. I loved it. That was good.
I have